Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Welcome to you all. Brilliant to see you here today. My name is Ben.
And I'm Sophie. Welcome this morning.
We are a dad and daughter team.
Great team.
Yeah.
Best
Today,
team.
it was going to be me and my wife Becky, but because it's Mother's Day, we're giving her the morning to lie in bed so we can say Happy Mother's Day. Hi, Becky.
Hi, Mum.
And Sophie's here instead, so
Yes.
we're going to have a lot of fun, aren't we?
Taking her place. I'm taking one for the team this morning.
Yes.
Here we go.
Normally, you would still be asleep, to be fair.
Normally, I'd still be asleep.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
right.
That is true.
That's the level of sacrifice that you are willing to go to.
I'm willing to sacrifice my sleep for my mum.
So we are here celebrating our mum, celebrating all mums and all the special women in our lives today. What have you been up to this week, Soph?
Yeah, so this week schools have gone back. So I've gone back to school, which was apparently fun for him.
Yeah.
It was lovely to see everybody.
brilliant.
It was great to see everybody. Lots of working hard for my assessments and exams coming up, but it was good. It was all good.
Really good, really good. I'm sure lots of other parents, mums especially, are glad that schools have gone back this week.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And also, I've had a haircut.
You have? Yeah.
An important thing, an up-and-coming young hairdresser who borrowed a pair of clippers and went to work on my hair. Thank you very much,
You're
Sophie.
welcome. You're most
Yeah,
welcome.
I think, you've got, if TV presenting isn't a future career option for you, maybe hairdressing
Hairdressing,
is the thing. So anyway, yeah, it's just so good to be here. It's Mother's Day, as we said, and today in church we are going to be celebrating all the women in our community. We're going to have a conversation between Sonia Hopkin, our families lead, and Katrina Benham, who is overseeing all of our site pastors, and they have recorded for us a fantastic chat that we're going to have later on. Oh, I forgot to say.
Yeah, make sure you're doing Mother's Day shout-outs in the chat. Lots of people say hello to. We've got my mum, Becky, Jessica Costa, Mish, Natalie, Sue Toms, Joy, Simon. Lots of people here
In the
this
chat.
morning. Make sure you're saying Happy Mother's Day.
Give us your messages. We can get your hi mum read out
Get
on
us
the
a
stream
shout out
today,
at
please. Yeah, it'd be really good. Yeah, so we're going to have a great time this morning, a normal fun. Also, a great time in church later on, and we've got something else coming up rather special in the meeting later, haven't we?
Yeah, so the kids team have put together a song for the mothers, and you're going to hear that later, which will be awesome.
I think you got in. You snuck
I did.
into that,
I
didn't you?
snuck into that. I got my place.
Yeah, well done.
Loads of fun to do that.
Can you give us any kind of hints? What's the song going to be? What's it like? Can you tell us?
I'm sorry, I can't give you any hints, but we've got a teaser video for today, so let's watch that now.
Hey, good morning everyone and happy Mother's Day. A little bit later on this morning, Katrina and I are going to be having a conversation, exploring some of the questions we ask on our podcast, aren't we?
Yeah, we enjoy a bit of fun, bit of banter. We're going to ask about our families, we're going to ask kind of what you packed for the parenting journey. We also talk about our faith and kind of the things that really help us grow as people of faith.
Yeah, I'm really excited because as well as hearing from each other, we're going to hear from some other women in our community. So join us in a little bit.
Yeah, I hope we're going to be really encouraging. We've got a passage from the Bible we know will really speak to us, where God's going to really help us with the kind of how we outwork our faith, how we live our faith. So it's going to be good. We've got a couple of props. What else? Any secrets to...
Well, they'll have to come back and see, won't they?
Come back and see. We'll see you in a bit.
Really looking forward to that. It's going to be great later. Hey, each week on Kerith Today, we get to meet people in our community, and this week is no different. We are going to meet Rick and Wendy Jackson from our Bracknell site. So, Rick and Wendy, are you there? Hello?
Here.
Hey guys!
How good to see you. Question number one. People will hear from your accent that you guys are from the USA. So question number one is this. When it comes to Mother's Day, do you go with the UK date or with the USA date, or do you do both?
So for me, it's geographic. So we'll celebrate Wendy today here in the UK. We'll celebrate my mom in the US come May, which is Mother's Day in the US.
That's cool.
That is a very diplomatic answer, Rick. Well done.
For me, I get two.
You know what? That's
Extra
what I was
special.
expecting. Yeah, why not? Another extra day, Wendy. Very good. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourselves then and family and what you guys do.
Sure. So US, as you had said, Ben, and Wendy originally from New York. I come from Illinois, but we met in Florida at university. We have 2 grown children who grew up partially in Florida and partially in the UK. And they have moved to as far away from Florida as they can get, but still be in the United States. So they're in the Pacific Northwest, where they get to enjoy the weather of the UK and be in the US. So they're far away. We also have a bonus. Ross has a fiance, Lonnie, who's very much part of our family as well. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see a wedding coming soon.
Wow.
Awesome.
How exciting. Yeah, and Wendy, tell us a bit about you.
So Rick gave our geographic background, I guess. I am a counselor, psychotherapist, and stay at my house a lot lately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unusual. Not many of us have experienced that yet. Okay. Doing a lot of stuff online, I guess, and continuing with all of that work online?
Yeah, so been online again since, I guess, end of November. So a little reprieve in the middle where I was face-to-face again over the summertime. And I've had my first COVID jab, and NHS is anxious to get us therapists back in the office. So I'll probably be back to face work sometime next month.
Oh, okay.
That's
That'd
great.
be wonderful. So well needed at the moment as well.
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
really good. So tell us about your story. How did you meet Jesus? How did you come to be involved in Kerith as a church? Could you say some of that
Yeah.
for us?
Yeah, you want to go first?
So I'm raised Jewish. My family is what I'd call ethnically Jewish, not religiously Jewish. So very much identify as Jewish, but not necessarily in a faith sense. And when Rick and I got married, Rick is born and raised in Christian faith. And when we got married, we talked about, what would we do about the kids and that kind of stuff. And we kind of talked about that we would just share with them both traditions, respect both traditions, and they would find their way to what they found their way to.
Yeah.
And that worked until we had kids.
Yeah.
And then when they actually came, it became a little bit more apparent that there was something missing in our home. And Rick probably knew what that was. I did not at the time. And so I set off to learn a little bit about what it meant to be Jewish, and
Wow.
wanting to understand the difference between what is it that Jewish people believe and what is it that Christian people believe, and found a course on studying the Bible, and first year read through the Bible on this course.
Wow.
And somewhere in the Old Testament, probably around Isaiah, I would say, it came here that actually it was the same.
Wow.
And then it probably took me another 6 months to decide what I wanted to do about that. And came to faith in Christ, through studying the Bible.
Amazing.
That's cool.
That is cool,
That's
isn't it?
crazy.
I know that you have a passion for studying the Bible that's continued throughout, but
Very cool.
amazing how God called you in that kind of way. Rick, what was your story?
I'll share that with you in a second, but I just want to add something to Wendy's story for all of us who are trying to share Christ. She had a friend who came alongside her and asked, "Who do you think Christ is?" And Wendy's answer was, "I think he's exactly who he says he is." And then the follow-up question was, "What are you going to do about it?"
Yeah.
Which was really powerful. Yeah. My story, as Wendy indicated, I was raised in a Christian home. At one point, my mother was my Sunday school teacher. And very close to God through my high school years. I was very involved with my church through my high school years. And then at university, I fell in love with this Jewish girl and drifted away from God for a little while. And then exactly as Wendy describes, as we became parents and she went on her journey, that brought me back. And we've been very close since. So it's a very, very important, meaningful aspect of my life, and I'm very happy. I know what being away felt like, and it was being in the wilderness. So I'm happy to be where I am now.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Well, welcome to the UK. So good to have you with us. Thank you for honouring your geography and celebrating Mother's Day with us today. We'd love to hear a bit about that. Wendy, for you, what's that like as your experience as a mother when your kids are so far away? My mum's away in Suffolk, which is about a 2.5-hour drive. Hi, Mum, by the way. Great to see you. But your kids are a lot further away than that. What's that like?
Yeah. So, Ben, if this wasn't a church broadcast, I would use a different word, but it's not great. It's hard. You get kind of in the rhythm of being far apart from your kids, and we do all kinds of things to keep us all connected. We have a family chat that runs almost nonstop through the day.
Yeah.
So we're aware of what's going on in their lives. They're aware of what's going on in our lives. We FaceTime, we chat, we catch up, and we get used to that. That's what the relationship looks like. But it's hard on days like today when people are out, in our current circumstances, taking a walk in the park with their family or, with their mom or that kind of thing. I know we are not to covet, but that's a bit of a hard thing on days like today.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good that you could be here. And I want to honour you for what you do as a mother to folks in this country as well. It's not just your own kids who are a long way away, but you're very special to many in this country too. So well done and thank you. Rick, I wanted to ask you, is there something that you've seen in your experience as a family where you thought we celebrated mums really well that year or in that way? Is there any wisdom that you could pass on to the rest of us?
Yeah, so I know Kerith has mentioned it before, and I apologize. I don't know to give Simon or Katrina credit for it, probably both, but there's the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman. And I think anytime we want to honor somebody, to do it through their love language is the best way to honor them. One particular Mother's Day that really stands out was my mother's 70th birthday. So interestingly, Wendy's birthday is tied to UK Mother's Day, and my mother's birthday is tied to US Mother's Day.
Wow.
So we were celebrating her 70th birthday, which was also Mother's Day that particular year. And we did that as a family, and we rented out a dude ranch. So we were in cabins, and we were playing pranks on each other. We had a family talent show that we did, and it was just a wonderful time to celebrate relationships that we had all with each other. Everybody showed up and celebrated my mom and all the other mothers that were there as well. So that was really special.
That's great. Thank you.
Awesome.
That does. You
That
love
sounds
that.
so cool.
Hayride and everything.
Hey, if anyone else has got some top tips or some great experiences, please put them in the chat.
Yeah,
So
we'd love
keep
to
an eye
hear.
out for that. We would
lots
love.
of people saying hi.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we'd love to hear top tips for celebrating mums. That would be fantastic. Wendy, you work as a counsellor, you were saying. How did you get into that and why? What did that journey look like? And tell us a bit more about what that looked like in this last year.
Yeah, so I would say probably the call to be a counselor came about 6 years before I did anything about it. I found myself, whether it be in just relationships with friends or in various ministry roles I've had over the years, face to face with people in a counseling type situation, and finally got to the point where I realized I didn't have the tools I needed to be as helpful as I could be. I did a lot of referring. I knew a lot of counselors that I was constantly, saying, maybe you'd want to, talk to somebody, and doing a lot of connecting in that way. And so finally, when our youngest finished school, I couldn't avoid it any longer. I kept tripping over it and walking around it, and all the things I needed to do.
Yeah.
To avoid it, I think, to avoid school. So I'm dyslexic, and school's not easy for me.
Wow.
And so I've done it, been to university, did it, thought that was the end, was never, ceremoniously dismantled my statistical calculator when that class was done, that kind of stuff. So really, actually, I wound up going on a 5-day kind of taster course at Waverly Abbey.
Oh, yeah?
And that kind of just really time with God during that was just like, okay, it's time, trust me, do it. And so I studied here at London School of Theology and did a combination degree, theology and counseling.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
So Wendy's saying she was called 6 years ago, but I would argue we met when Wendy was 17, and we met at university. So Wendy was at university a year faster than normal because she's really smart, even though she's saying she's dyslexic, which is true, but very smart. And Wendy was always that wise friend that people sought counsel from the time she's 17 years old.
Yeah.
So this is how God has designed her. And it's just a joy for me to see her living her faith in her career and how that all connects together.
That is great. 17. I'm thinking,
17.
Sophie, you're nearly 16.
I'm nearly 16 in 9 days, 10 days,
Not
something
long
like
now.
that.
No. And that's
Happy early
amazing
birthday.
to think that
Thank you.
that what God has for Soph's future is already in her.
Yeah.
And He's already
Yeah.
called it and already gifted it, and that's what we've seen live through
right.
your
Yeah.
life, Wendy. That's fantastic. Tell us a bit about then this last year and how that's affected families or clients that you've been working with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so it's been a really interesting learning curve for everybody. I think all of us have gone online versus face to face, and that means different things, in different contexts. With counseling, it was, the first thing I did was a 5-day course on counseling on Zoom.
Okay.
And learning how to do that differently. My area of specialty is trauma, anxiety, and PTSD. And so, I'm working a lot with the whole picture of somebody. So I'm watching your hands and I'm watching your feet and the movement of your body. And as you can tell, I can't see any of that on a Zoom call. So that changes something, even distance sometimes. So I had to learn how to do that. And definitely the idea of boundaries is a big thing, which I actually wrote about in my blog last week about how do you keep, the boundaries of your life, the different spaces that you have. But as a counselor, really important for me to keep my home life and my work life separate. And so bringing, I don't even read certain things in my house.
Yeah.
So that all those boundaries kind of went away. And how do I create the space within my home that is going to be separate from my home? Figure that one out.
When everything's at home. I think lots of us have had that challenge, haven't we, over the last year,
Absolutely,
when work comes into the home. But especially when work is working with other people and helping them with their issues, some of which you probably can recognize.
Yeah, and that's the same thing for the client, right? You want to make sure that they're in a space that's private, and that whatever it is that's gonna come up in a session is going to be able to be separate from their day to day.
Yeah.
So that becomes an issue as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that. I'd say the other thing is, as counselors, we work really hard on processing our own events in our lives, so that we can, when we're with a client, we are seeing it from our client's experience instead of our own.
Yeah.
And this has been a really unique experience where what's happening in my life real time is also happening for my clients. And without me having had a chance necessarily to process it.
Yeah.
So I would say that's been really interesting, and spent a lot of time working with other counselors, friends of mine that we do peer supervision, and talking through those things with them, like how are you handling this, and how do we get through that, and trying to process kind of quickly our own feelings about what's going on, so that we can be really there for our clients.
That sounds familiar. Lots of people in different areas have found one another to work out how on earth do we do our jobs in this kind of climate. It sounds
Absolutely,
like very different for you.
And just like you're talking about putting in good tips for Mother's Day, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
With our work, what's working for you? I'm coming from zero.
We had that with your school friends, Soph.
Yeah, lots of messaging of like, what are we doing? How is this going to work?
Yeah.
How can we get the teachers' attention when they're gone off in another room doing something.
We've all needed help from one another.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you have any advice for us as family units, especially thinking about that today, celebrating mums, or anything that you've noticed, hey, this is a really good tip for you guys as you're doing things?
I would say the first thing would be communication, always. And that we are being clear with our family members and the people we're in relationship with about what we mean, and not kind of that subtle hint hoping the other person gets it, but the actual, the words I need, I need some time alone, or I need you to, fill in the blank. That's really important, because often, you'll say someone, can you, or will you, or, and then you stew because it's 3 days later and it hasn't been done.
Yeah.
And that can cause tension, certainly in the family. So what it is that you need, and also, especially in this time right now, when we are in such close proximity, and we have tensions for very different reasons. Some of us have responded to this lockdown as a reprieve. This has been great. I like working this way, or I like being this way. It takes away a lot of my anxiety. I really like it. Other people are pulling their hair out. I just want to, go to the movies, or, whatever it is that, I want to exercise in the gym, or, whatever it is that fills them up. And so all our experiences are really quite different, and you can't assume that everyone is experiencing it the same way that you are.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to kind of check in. So I think about like when Rick and I were raising young kids, back to the Mother's Day thing. And if my work at that point was either in the evenings, part-time, or on the weekend, and Rick was working during the week, and I was home with the kids. And he would come home from work, and we'd kind of meet at the door and check in. How was your day? How was your day?
Yeah.
And if he said, yeah, it was a rough day, and, I had, there I am covered in, baby puke or whatever. And, I'd say, what do you need? And so, it might be, just, give me half an hour, to relax. And then I'd say, great. And then I'm out the door.
Yeah. That's so helpful.
Yeah, there's so much love for you guys in the chat. Glyn and Rachel are saying, lovely to see Rick and Wendy. Team Rick and Wendy are awesome. Sarah Walker's saying, we love the Jacksons. So we appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, we love you too.
So thank you so much for coming on. You mentioned a blog. Could you just tell us how to find that blog?
Yeah, so the website is surreyberkshirecounseling.com. And the most recent blog post will be right on the middle of the front page, and you can go there to all the rest of them. And this week was on boundaries. Next week is on restoration.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, and happy Mother's Day to you, Wendy, especially. Thank you, Rick, as well.
Sophie.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
They're good, aren't they?
Yeah, so much love for them in the chat, honestly. Lots of people saying hi, some Mother's Day shout-outs. Dilly and Tito giving the Mother's Day shout-outs. Happy Mother's Day to our amazing mum, love, Amelie, Ziki, Ifa, and Elijah. I hope I said your names right. Joshua Underwood says Happy Mother's Day. Jappy Webergan, Ben Pocock. Lots of love for mothers today.
Very good, very good. So, Ria, happy Mother's Day to you. I think it's time for a game.
I think it is, yes.
So we've been stitched up. We've got a game. Your mum,
My mum,
my wife, has asked us some questions. You can play along at home, by the way. If you've got your mum with you, you can do this too. So she's going to ask us a question by video. We've got to come up with an answer, and it's the husband or the daughter who knows her best. I'm not quite sure who's under the most pressure here.
yeah, I think it might be you, but we'll go with it anyway.
Okay, let's get the first question, and then we'll let you know what we think the answer is.
Hi, church. So, question 1. If I could eat one meal for the rest of my life, what would it be?
One meal.
Ooh, one meal.
One meal.
Okay, there's quite a lot. She's good
at
with food.
cooking.
I'd say I'm going to go something along the pasta lines, but there's one particular thing that can go with lots of things. What are you going for?
I'm going for like Greek food, you know, falafel.
I'm going salmon.
Something
Like
salmon.
probably pasta, but I'm going salmon for it.
Oh, should we find out?
Let's find out.
I hope it's good.
I think that they'll all guess this. So I'm a big fan of salmon, and so any opportunity I get, I'll always go for the salmon option. Favourite type of salmon, probably en croûte, new potatoes, some asparagus. Yummy, yummy. Let's hope I get that today.
I don't think we've got
I don't think we've got that.
We do have a roast
We do
planned.
have a roast planned. It will be good.
And we are cooking it.
We are.
Yeah, we are. Okay, let's move on. Let's have question number 2.
Question 2. My favourite place in the world, where would it be?
I might have an advantage on you here.
I think it's like Italy.
I agree.
So it's like Venice.
Okay.
Or like, you went to Florence, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm going with that.
Okay, Venice or Florence in Italy?
It's a hard one. I've got 2. You only had 1. So UK-wise, a really lovely beach in Pembrokeshire called Newport Beach is my kind of growing up home. Ben and I got engaged on it, so it's got some great memories. My most lovely, amazing place would obviously be Florence, just because of all the art.
We're doing well. We're
Yes.
doing well. All right. That's 2. I'm not keeping score or anything, but I'm keeping score. Okay, it's 2-1. Okay,
2-1.
what's the next question? Are you playing along at home,
What
by
did
the
I
way?
want to be when I was a kid?
Oh, what did I want to be when I was a kid?
I'm
Okay.
going to go. She's a physiotherapist now, so I'm going to put physio.
Okay, and
think.
there is one other thing she could easily have done, and she does it a lot at home and around the church as well, and that's interior design.
Oh, that's
So
a good
interior
one.
designer.
My mum loves a good room change-up.
Yeah, she does. Okay, so those are our options.
Well, sadly, I've actually always wanted to be a physio, so
Yes!
that's kind of weird, isn't it? But so yeah, that's true. But I have to say, there was one time that my best friend and I went to see the Moscow State Circus and went home and spent weeks and weeks jumping on her bed and doing backflips because we were going to run away and join the circus. So maybe that.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that one. You've learnt it now.
I've
All
learnt
right.
it now.
Sophie, well done. You've pulled it back. It's 2-1.
Pull it back. 2-0. I can do this.
So we are on the final decider question.
Are we? Okay.
Have we got? No, that's it. Oh!
No!
We do need
We
a
need
decider.
we need a decider.
Okay, well, we're going to have to do a game, an eating game.
An eating game. Yes.
Why don't we do that? Let's bring it on.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Whoever wins this is, in fact, the best, okay, and gets
Is
all
it?
the,
Yeah.
all the credit and stuff. Okay, so the game works like this.
It's as if it's planned.
Yeah, it's fairly
Almost.
self-explanatory. We just have to eat a bite out of everything that you can see in front of us right now. We have to take one bite of each, and the winner is, I've got my own little row here, Sophie's got her little row there. The winner is the person that's taken a bite out of everything and ends up by taking a bite out of the donut as well. So that's what we're going to go for. Are you ready?
Make sure you're Team Sophie at home. Make sure you're Team Sophie. Ready?
And don't forget the lemon there. Don't miss out the lemon.
I won't miss out the lemon. I'm good at this. I'm going to win, guys.
Ready?
Ready.
Let's go.
Come on, guys.
Oh,
I get it.
oh God.
Right, onto the banana.
You actually don't like banana.
I hate banana, but we'll go with it. Oh, I got
I
it.
actually need the banana.
I can't get it.
You gotta get your hands out the way, haven't you? It's like apple bubbing.
Oh, that banana was awful. I can't get it. That's got a bigger mouth.
Maybe if you come up from underneath.
Can I use my sleeve to stop it from moving?
Move on.
I can't do the apple, the ice bit I can do. No, yeah.
I can't read.
You can't even get to it. Oh,
He's done it, Ben. He's done it.
Decider. Very good. Oh, dear. Very good. Right, let's watch a video. I think we've got something about Mother's Day, and we'd just like you to have a look at this message. Hey, well, whether Mother's Day is great fun for you or it's a bit harder for you, we just want you to know God is with us. And He is with you through the sad times and the happy times too. Not everyone at school is not a great day for everybody, is it?
No, thinking of some people at school, and it's our first Mother's Day without my great-grandma or Dad's grandma, and our granddad's watching, so his mum, so we're just thinking of her.
Yeah, although I do think she's probably having the best Mother's Day
The best
she's
party
ever
ever.
experienced this year. So
Yes,
really good for her.
Yeah.
Well, it's been great to be with you today, and we are about to start our church meeting online in just a second. That's Kerith Live. So before we go, we just want to say goodbye. Anything from the chat?
Yeah, goodbye. Lots of love from chat. My mum says we're missing some breakfast smoothies at home. We've got to get back.
We got some good comments on your hair, Sophie. Compliments on your hair.
Thank you
well
for complimenting my hair, guys. Lots great for that. But yeah, we're going to Kerith Live. So we'll see you later, and have a great morning.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.